Okay, that's just too weird, I think. If people are going to watch this like a year from now and to learn about Jet, and they're going to see that Winnie the Pooh, and they're going to be like, what the hell is that guy doing? Okay. Sorry. Hello, everyone. My mom actually is finding all these things from my childhood. This was my stuffed Winnie the Pooh from when I was a wee lad. And bringing it all out to show me. Okay, so I've got a checklist in my hand. We're going to go over the 2009 Jet application. Basically, the way I look at it, today is November the 6th. You really need to start thinking you have 2 weeks left to get it all together. 2 weeks from today would be Friday the 20th of November, and for Americans at least, it's due on the 24th, which would be the following Tuesday, and you want to obviously be able to mail it like, you know, 2-day Federal Express, 2-day UPS, something that you can track, and you know it got signed for, etc. Don't send it American Postal Service. For those of you in the UK and some other countries, you know, again, give yourself a few days, send it registered, signature required type Federal Express type of mail, so you know it got there. Now, in there, you have to put a self-addressed stamped envelope, and they'll send you a little card in the envelope that just says, we did receive your application, and that's really all you're going to get from the Jet people. They don't really send out stuff that says you didn't make it. The next thing you'll hear is, congratulations, you now have an interview. If you don't hear about that later on down the line, then you know that you messed up somehow on the application and you didn't make it through the initial screening. But being positive, and we're going to all do it, let's look at some of the things that you need to have together in the next 2 weeks, and we'll go down the checklist here. You want to send everything in 3 complete sets. Do not staple everything together. They want you to collate all the paperwork into pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and then a big paper clip or some kind of clip on it all. So the application form, the letters of reference have to be in their own envelopes. You know, you could have 3 copies in one envelope and 3 copies in another envelope, or you could have 6 individual envelopes with 1, 2, 3 is all one, and then 1, 2, 3. You want to make sure you sign everything that you needed to have signed: the application form, the authorization and release, and the self-assessment medical form. You know, don't mess up on this little stuff. The Jet application is complex and cumbersome, etc., but I know Angel and some of the Jet staff told me that, you know, there's a bunch of people every year that, you know, they don't even make it through that first, you know, hurdle because something is not right about their application, and unfortunately you get tossed. Okay, so here's a cool checklist that Angel put together for the people in California, and I'm sure is available in many other places, about all the things that you have to get. Okay, and I'm just going to read the list to you, and hopefully, you know, you can print something like this off the website, etc. And remember, please, that if you're an American, you have to send everything to the consulate address in Washington, D.C. You can't send it to L.A. or Atlanta or San Francisco. It has to go to Washington, D.C. Okay. The application form, which is 8 pages, it has to be signed. You need 1 original and 2 copies. Only if applicable, a criminal record. But for most of you, hopefully that won't be a problem. Your self-assessment medical form, signed, 1 original, 2 copies. Hopefully some of this information, if you're still watching this vlog and you're not going to apply to Jet, but you're thinking about it, you get some idea of what's involved in the application process. If applicable to you, a physician's form. That won't be most of you. Your statement of purpose, the letter of intent, the essay, 1 original and 2 copies. And remember on that, you have to have your name and like page 1 of 2 at the top of each page. And you don't need to have a title on it, etc. Your official transcript or scripts. In my case, I think I had transcripts from 3 different schools. 3 different schools, 2 junior colleges and UCSD. All undergraduate and graduate courses. Something, of course, you know, that again has to be official, and you need 1 original and 2 copies. We get asked this a lot. You know, it comes in an envelope. It says don't open unless or it's not official anymore. But in this case, it's okay to open the envelope of the official transcript to make the copies. If, again, this is only if you did this, but proof of study abroad, if you did study abroad, if you have lived in Japan or in Spain or anywhere else and shows that you have experience living in another country, they want proof of that, 1 original, 2 copies. Proof of graduation, if you've already graduated, basically an official transcript, a letter saying that you did, or your diploma. Now in that case, you don't have to send them your original diploma. You can make a copy. If you haven't graduated, if you're currently a senior, if you're currently a 4th year or a 3rd year if you're in the UK student, and you're going to graduate next May, next June, you need a letter from your university with your enrollment status and everything. And if you have questions about that, you can ask me, but basically you need that. So you either need proof that you're enrolled and will graduate, or proof that you did graduate and you have your degree. You have to have a college degree to go on JET. If you, again, this is an only applicable situation. If you have a teaching credential or you've done TEFL or TESOL certificate, you have to show proof of that. You have to show proof of U.S. citizenship, which is usually just a Xerox of some pages in your passport, but it can also be a birth certificate or something. Your reference letter and the accompanying forms. There's forms that go with the reference letter, and again, these have to be in envelopes that are signed and sealed by the person that writes the letter. So be careful about that. Basically you need 2 originals and then 4 copies, if that makes sense. So 3 of one set and 3 of another. And again, they can stuff them all into the same envelope, or some people, I guess, would maybe want to give you 3 envelopes. I don't know. And lastly, the self-addressed stamp envelope that I talked about. And I don't know when they started this. If you applied last year and you're now in Japan, you can tell me, but they now require an FBI background check, similar to what I have to get to substitute teach here in California. But that's only if you make it past the initial screening, I believe, and you're going to get the interview. Then you have to do the FBI thing. Again, don't send an original copy of your diploma. And I think that's it. So it's kind of a little packet, and you have to put it all together. And you just don't want to make any mistakes, silly mistakes in this segment. Excuse me. So, you have about 2 more weeks left. Concentrate and do your best. Put it all together. And, Angel was telling people that the numbers, are I think when I went, you had about a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 chance of getting in. And now with the people staying in Japan and recontracting and not coming home and etc., it's more like a 1 in 5, 1 in 6. So it's a tough program, but JET is so wonderful, at least it was for me, that I think it's very worthwhile. So, take some time, do your best, write a good letter, make sure those people that are writing you letters of recommendation are on top of it, tell them they only have about 10 days left to go. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and ganbatte ne, do your best, and we'll talk to you more. See ya.